So in today's episode of What's Inside, we're going to be looking at a floppy drive, one of these guys here. So, you see here, they take the standard floppy drive. It's been a while since these are actually necessary, probably over 10 years. 3.5-inch drive, so it's much smaller than a standard CD drive. There's a floppy connector right here. And there's a floppy power connector, those power connectors that you see on your power supply that never really get used for anything these days. So let's take off the top lid and see what exactly is inside it. So in order to take it apart, you have to go in here and use a pry tool or a flathead screwdriver to pry off all 4 of the different side tabs. Once you remove the top cover, you can see the main mechanism here. So the drive slits into here and then it clamps it. You can actually trigger the clamping mechanism with a screwdriver in here. Pry on this little piece. Here, there you go. And you see, this has now clamped it. These 2 magnetic reed heads are now clamping the drive. It will spin it, and if you push the eject button on the front, it'll reset it and go back up. On the bottom side, we see the circuit board, which has the main controller chip here, and everything else is on the other side. And here, this is covering up the motor that spins the drive so the magnetic reed head can see all the data. Let's take that off. Okay, so once we've taken off these screws, we can easily lift up this board here. And we can see, here's the inside board where the motor is. So under this piece of metal is the motor that spins the disc to read the data. This here is the controller for the motor. These here are some buttons that can tell if there's actually a drive inserted and let's push down the mechanism to clamp it. And here's a little LED that tells you if it's been reading data or not. Let's now take a look at the main circuit board. On the back side of the circuit board, there really isn't very much. There's the main data connector and power connectors. There's a little bit of surface mount logic here. And then there's the main IC that controls everything. On the back side, there's almost nothing. There's a few capacitors, a resistor, and some connectors that plug into other devices. On the side where the read head is located, we can see this is the actual read head here with the actual magnetic readers right under this piece of paper. This is the mechanism that lets it clamp down so it reads both sides of it because it is a dual-sided disc. And this here is the motor that will move this read head up and down as it turns so it can read all parts of the disc. I know some of them actually speed up and slow down so that when it's reading the area close to the center, it will spin faster and spin slow when it's at the outside. And you see the read heads plug in here to the main circuit board. Other than that, these are pretty simple devices. So thanks for watching this video, and please like if you liked it.